bring in some fresh faces. We didn't want to just keep doing Cameron has a crush on House over and over again.
It's refreshing to bring in new energies. The audience got used to sort of the same formula for 3 years, and you know, we kept them on edge, but I think that the audience was ready for a change, and our characters had dramatic, you know, exits from the show last season.
I don't really care if Foreman stays or goes, but you're fired.
We knew we were sort of boxing ourselves into a corner, having all of House's team quit, and how are we going to handle that?
My resignation letter.
House just doing job interviews sounded entertaining for about the first 45 seconds. And it just suddenly struck me.
Who is this man?
We could do what these reality shows do, and most TV shows you can't, but we got a character here that allowed us to do it.
I'm not gonna fire you every time you get a wrong answer.
Neville Chamberlain.
You're fired.
A guy who wouldn't just interview 30 people and hire 3 of them. He'd hire 30 people and then fire 27 of them.
Rodi, you're fired.
How many of you think that Oswald acted alone?
If by alone you mean that he was unaware that the CIA...
Oh, shut up.
The survivor angle, from my point of view, selfishly, which is how I think, was pretty harrowing, actually, because I was essentially having to perform to a live audience, not a big one, but 40. It was a live audience every day, and one of the supposed advantages of doing a single-camera drama is that you're spared the pressure of a live audience, and there was I having to act every day, and imagining, of course, that they were all sitting there with their arms folded, thinking, is that the best he could do?
Thank you all for coming to Tribal Council.
For the other actors, it's of course actually incredibly similar to an actor's usual experience. There were 40 actors going for 3 roles. That's the actor's lot. For all I know, they went to 40 different people to play House. But they only came up with 1, unless they've got 2 more waiting in the wings, which would be great.
You didn't tell him I was coming back?
She did. I said no.
When your extended job interview / reality TV show killed a patient, you lost your veto power. Everybody, this is Dr. Foreman. Does
this mean there's one less slot for us?
In our initial conception, we were going to find 2 new candidates and have Foreman rejoin the team as he does now. You know, and as evidence of how we fell in love with so many, we have 3 candidates and Foreman. One of the reasons why we didn't set out to increase that sort of core group is that in terms of shooting time, to accommodate more actors during those differential diagnosis scenes actually takes longer, and we were not looking to do that, make things more complicated.
It takes 8 days or 9 days to shoot an episode and 2 months to write an episode. So at the beginning of the season, we have 2 months, and then it gets shorter and shorter, and by the end of the season, we're usually scrambling, you know. That's where it helps to have a large staff, and almost everybody has been on the show for a few years, so it's a pretty experienced staff too, which is helpful. Otherwise, we'd really be in trouble.
Fever. Non-responsive to antibiotics and antipyretics. Fluctuating consciousness. Go!
The hardest part's the medicine.
It's the medical stories, man.
Patient can't figure out immediately.
And that's the beginning.
But we can, and we don't know anything about medicine.
And they also start out, they usually come to us after they've been to 4 doctors and no one can figure out what it is. So they've had all the normal testing.